Hello and welcome to episode 33 of Diggs Sideline Podcast. We are your hosts. I am Sam DeCosmo.
And I'm Patrick Alonia.
Pat, episode 33, Dalvin Cook's day, number 33.
Sam, I will never doubt you again. You wanted the Saints. You got the Saints. You predicted a win, man. I'm giving you credit.
I've been called the football savant. I'm going to be honest. I'm desperately optimistic, even in the face of all adversity.
To the point of pure delusion.
But hey, when it works, it works.
It works,
what are you
man.
gonna do?
I love it,
dude. I just from all week I was waiting for. It seemed like this was the longest week.
It really did.
And I'm watching Get Up on ESPN.
Yep.
I'm watching First Take. I'm watching Good Morning Football. I'm watching anything and everything.
Right.
Clips from here and there. Not a single person picked the Vikings to win this game.
No one.
The pregame show, people were picking the Saints by 17.
Yeah.
That's almost disrespectful.
And the original Vegas line was 10.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was 10.
So people must have been betting on
and they brought it down to 7.5. Yep. And what I'll say is my hope for the game actually built up as the week progressed.
Yeah?
I became more and more amped and hyped for the game, and because naturally that's just what's going to happen,
Yeah.
And I went into it with I still didn't know what it all came down to. My thoughts still with how Kirk Cousins was going to play. Yeah, that's just what it was. But he wasn't my performer of the game. I've got something else that we'll get into.
We'll get into that. So my thoughts going through the week were, we recorded early in the week. I kept my delusion strong at the beginning of the week, thinking, it's, and then as the week started to progress, and I saw everybody saying out, and I was like, this is disrespectful. I hope Zimmer's using this.
And Zimmer's using
material,
it, exactly.
That and the other thing, but it started to get to me a little bit like, geez, if everybody's saying that, maybe I am the crazy one. Yeah. Guess what? I'm not the crazy one.
And I'm going to give you credit, man. I got to give you credit.
It was. So, obviously, the Vikings won the game. Great. It was just a good football game.
So, it was a good football game. But let's talk about our first drive. So, we got what I wanted. I wanted us to receive the ball. I was just
Zimmer listens to Diggs Sideline Podcast.
He listens to Diggs Sideline Podcast. I said I wanted us to get the ball, go down the field, and score. What did we do? Adam Thielen fumbled.
but that was our glimmer. I'm not upset about that play. The defender put his helmet on the ball. Thielen was going down. He could have put a second hand on it, but he put his helmet right on the ball.
Yeah, no, it was a great defensive play.
And prior to that, we were moving the ball. So that drive, I didn't hate that drive.
Right.
We'd been moving the sticks.
It was mainly just classic Vikings.
Yeah.
You couldn't go down and get 7 right off the bat.
Yeah,
it's just classic. You had to fumble in your own end.
But we fumbled in our own territory, but the defense stood up. Dude. They held them to a field goal, which was incredible.
I was not expecting it. I'm just going to get right into it. My players of the game were Hunter and Everson Griffin.
Oh,
those were my players of the game because it was relentless pressure, and we were able to rush with just 4 for a majority of that game, which allowed us to drop back, get rid of the short ball, which you alluded to all season. I've said here, and I've prepped up Drew Brees, and I finally realized, holy crap, he does not have a deep ball at all.
Yeah.
Hence the interception by Ant Harris.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you another credit for that. I'm giving you more credit for that.
The one deep ball he threw was an interception. Now, Taysom Hill had that deep ball that he connected on. But that's, that wasn't Drew Brees' deep ball. So they go down, and we hold them to a field goal, which is just incredible.
They had 8 plays. Right. Yep. They only got 26 yards on 8 plays in our zone.
Yeah, exactly.
So already, exactly.
So we go down and we respond, and we get a field goal back. And but the thing is, so on that drive where we were kicking a field goal, man, we were moving the ball. And we were playing Zimmer-esque, we were playing Stefanski and Kubiak offense in Zimmer's grander scheme of I want to run the ball and I want to shorten the game.
And so I'm going to quick refresh you on why we ended it with a field goal, because we did that Diggs trick play and we lost 6 on that, and that literally just killed the drive. Yeah. But we got 3 out of it.
Right. So so we got 3 out of it. Then the first quarter comes to an end.
Yeah. We traded off back-to-back punts twice, and then they went down and scored. Kamara, I believe, had a 40-yard rush, right?
Kamara had a 40-yard run?
No, 4-yard rush.
Oh, 4.
Yeah.
4.
Yep,
I was going to say, yeah.
Yep.
So they were able to punch it into the end zone. We were able to respond. And then was that with the field goal or was that with the touchdown?
So this is all in the first quarter.
No, second quarter was when we scored our touchdown. First quarter ended 3-3.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Yep.
Yeah. So
it was 10-3.
Yeah.
10-3. Yep, exactly. And then we came away with another field goal because that's
right. That's
Camergate. The sky camera falls down with 4 minutes and 18 seconds left.
How can we forget? So the Vikings are driving.
Yeah. After a phenomenal drive.
It
was a screen to Cook down to the 3.
We're wearing down the defense.
Momentum is all in our favor.
They can't stop us. And then all of a sudden the clock stops.
Yeah.
And the game goes to commercial. I'm like, what is this? A 4-minute warning?
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Right.
And then like they come back and they're like, oh, the camera's still busted. We're gonna come back. And it's like, what? Not once have I ever seen that sky cam on the turf. It's the sky cam.
I know.
It's the sky cam.
Yeah, and they were treating it like this was an injured player. Like they just carry the shit off the field and let's go play.
Seriously. So that was pretty incredible. And then then after they get their nice little breather, they stuff us.
Stuff us, exactly.
And then on that stuff play, linebacker goes down.
Oh, yeah.
And what does he do?
Kiko Alonso.
What does he do? Pops back up, jogs off the field.
And he was smiling as he was leaving the field there.
It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
So then that was a pitch to
Cook on the left
Dalvin,
there. Yep, stuffed.
Yep. So short. So then it was 6-10.
Yep, exactly.
But then
the next drive. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you.
Oh, the next drive. I'm just going to refer to that's the interception. That's the one where they took a shot with Drew Brees and Harris, kind of like Sandejo 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Same thing, diving interception.
Yeah.
Phenomenal play.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And people and the at this point everybody's like the commentators and the fans and the whole NFL world is like, what's going on?
Right.
You know, like Drew Brees doesn't throw interception.
And when that happened, I looked at you and I go, dude, you're 100% right. That was so underthrown, his deep ball. And I don't know if his hand is affected from that previous injury.
From the injury,
but I don't care. You're 100% right, and I've given you 100% credit for that.
Yeah, but why break what's
exactly.
You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And their short game has been working for them. But that deep ball, we were able to intercept that, and we got 7 points off of that turn. Our offense went down and drove, and we were able to get a touchdown.
Yep.
And I was hoping that we'd be able to milk more clock. We gave them enough time to go down,
of course,
and try to get something. And then,
you know what it was? It was the kick return that did it.
Yeah, the kick return
that was classic.
They brought it way back. And it's like, come on.
Of course, of course.
So I'm thinking, all right, they'll kick a field goal and we'll go to halftime tied. No. They put Will Lutz who is the most clutch kicker in all of football.
You don't have any issues with him kicking your ball.
He pushes it.
Wide right.
He pushes it.
Yeah.
How does that happen? It was only 43 yards.
Yeah.
And you know what? That became the difference maker because this game ended up going to overtime. If they make that kick, this game doesn't go to overtime. That
23-20.
became the difference maker. So we go into halftime and we're up by 3 points. And
on the road in a game that we were not expected to win.
In a game where people were taking the Saints by 17.
Right.
And at this point, it's like, oh my gosh!
Yeah.
There's only 30 minutes left, and we're up, and we're just playing solid ball.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it was our offensive line and our defensive line, and we were just the way we were able to move the sticks today was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Dalvin Cook had an incredible day. They put a stat up. It wasn't like a big flashy stat that they put up. It was down at the banner, but I noticed it. We are 42-0 in games where we run the ball 30 times or more.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy because you dominate the play of the clock, you wear out the defense, and if you're running that much, you're probably getting plenty of penetration throughout the entire game.
And I think that's in the Mike Zimmer era.
Oh, sure. But that's what he wants, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
And so when things are working, that's beautiful.
Which, by the way, I want to talk about our rushing. Dalvin Cook had 28 touches for 94 yards, 3.4 average.
2 TDs.
2 TDs.
Yeah.
Alexander Madison only ran the ball 5 times.
Yeah. Can we talk about one scare?
Yeah.
Cook almost fumbling the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez Louise.
So
my heart dropped.
I know, my heart dropped. I said that. I had no idea. I had no idea whether or not he was down, but I just said, he's down. And my everything in my innermost being was willing him to be down. And
I was the other way. I panicked. I got up and I went upstairs.
My favorite thing was they were trying to like mock the Minneapolis Miracle. He's holding the ball out. Like
yeah.
No, it's coming back. It was down.
Nope.
But so I saw an interview with Dalvin Cook on the sideline afterwards, and he's like, yeah, they almost got it, but I knew I was down. I told Coach I was down, so if they called it the other way, I was going to tell him to challenge it. But he knew. But man, that was close. That was close.
So what happened? Where are we at here? Going through the game here. It's missed field goal.
So we go into halftime. We're up 3-0.
They get the ball at half.
We come out and Dalvin gets another touchdown, which I'm not sure which drive that was.
Yep.
So now it's 20-10, and people and it's like, okay, what's happened? So now at this point, about halfway through the third quarter, this is when you and I both started to get a little bit frustrated because we started to play not to lose, and when you play not to lose, you end up losing.
You do.
You know, and so
And they're driving at this point.
Exactly.
And then guess who comes up big? Daniil freaking Hunter with that strip sack.
Daniil Hunter with the strip sack. And I think that was after they had already scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
And so they were only down by 3. It was
Exactly.
So they were only down by 3. So we do that. So he gets the ball. He fumbles the ball, and we just essentially buy field position with our offense. We had a
dud of a drive.
We had a dud of a drive.
That was when we almost fumbled with Cook, all that stuff. Yeah, it was lost yards.
We bought a little bit of field position. Cole quit, punted it back. And we were able to push it. So we bought a ton of field position, and they were able to march down and get that last second field goal. And it's like, all right,
tied it up.
And so I asked you when they tied it up. I was like, so we're going to overtime. Was the way the defense is playing, do we want to kick the ball? Because when you're the way NFL overtime rules work, if you receive the ball, you have to go get a touchdown.
Exactly.
If you don't want the other team to get a chance, you have to go get a touchdown. Whereas if you think that your defense can get a stop, all you need to get at that point is a field goal.
I said heck no.
And you said heck no.
I said heck no. I said the only time that Mike Zimmer did that was against the Rams with Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
And that was after Teddy was knocked out of the game.
Yeah.
And Zimmer just had that. Our defense was on fire that game.
Our defense was on fire and our offense was
That's the only time I think that
out.
any team has, honest to God, ever deferred the overtime coin toss. So no, I was like, heck no. And you were kind of flirting with that idea, and I'm like, you're getting delusional
the way our defense
again.
was playing, but you're right. They were starting to drive.
Yeah.
And they were starting to gain momentum, and we just didn't want to give it to them. So they kick off.
Yeah.
And dude, we were driving. Like, I don't think we had a negative play that whole drive.
9 plays for a total of 75 yards.
So yeah, so
there were crucial plays here. Okay, so we got it to a 2nd and 7, and then it got down to a 3rd and 1, and Cousins zips a slant to Diggs, which thank you. And finally, because I'm getting frustrated with us targeting these. Nothing against our 3rd, 4th, 5th string wide receivers, but on 3rd downs, I want to be able to. I don't care if it's a slant.
Alexander Hollins on that seam route.
God bless the guy. I don't know who and he almost caught it, by the way.
He almost caught that one. He would have caught it. It was well defended.
But listen,
Packers, and then BC Johnson. I know we've been praising him all year.
Exactly.
But I think he was anticipating the ball to be in front of him.
Right. Kirk had to be behind.
Kirk had to throw it behind him.
But listen, like Aaron Rodgers on 3rd down, he's going to Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, 3rd down. Same thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But we're not doing that.
We were finally able to get it to Diggs.
Exactly.
And Diggs was getting frustrated today.
He was.
And I think it's because he wasn't getting as many looks and targets and touches. But that's simply because they were double teaming. And it was exactly like we said it last week. Diggs has had a phenomenal season.
Yeah.
And part of that is because Adam Thielen's been out. Well, guess what? Adam Thielen's back. They're gonna double team Diggs because Diggs has been having the season in the numbers and the headlines.
Yep, exactly.
And so he wasn't able to get open. But guess what? Adam Thielen had himself a day. He had 7 receptions, 129 yards.
And now the most important one was on this drive here with that 50-yard bomb.
Yes.
It was a quick play action, and Thielen, I want to give, it's both a 50-50 split on the credit of this.
Oh, dude.
But Thielen, you're basically looking straight up.
It wasn't just straight up. He was arching back.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking like this all the way backwards, and the ball comes right in his breadbasket, right where it needed to be. It was perfect.
And one of my favorite things about this game in particular was Thielen's progression throughout the game, because it started off very rough.
Yeah, he definitely had to shake off the Cowboys.
He had that holding penalty, which was not a holding. So he started off very rough and a drop ball, but he picked it up with 100+ yards.
Yeah. So let's finish the overtime drive.
Yeah.
So then we're on the 1 yard line. We punch
it. Well, we ran once.
So we were on the 2 yard line. We punched it up to the 1. And
Cook couldn't get in.
And we tried to do a pitch again, and that was the second time on the 1 yard line. We pitched it to Cook, and I don't think we should have called it in overtime.
Yeah.
I don't hate the call when we called it earlier in the game, because we've been scoring touchdowns on that
throughout the year.
Play all year.
Right.
But they stopped it the first time. We shouldn't have called it that next time because they were all over it. But then Kyle Rudolph, and Brian called it. He said we're going to the mattress, the guy that catches everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah.
So at the end of the game, they asked Kyle Rudolph, and they couldn't get it out of him. They said, "Was that play designed to go? Was that play going to you from the get go?" And he's like, he's like, I don't know. We all have our assignments. It all depends on what the defense.
If you're
is
open,
giving
you're
us.
open.
Yeah, exactly. And they asked Cousins the same thing, and he's like, "Well, it really depends on what the defense is giving us." But there was kind of like a wink and a nod. Like, yeah.
Well, that was a mismatch.
Yeah,
you got Kyle Rudolph on like a shorter cornerback.
Exactly.
So you had to throw it to him.
And everybody and their brother was saying, "Oh, that's offensive pass interference." So let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So the Fox people said it. The NBC guys said it during the Seattle
next game. Yep.
And everybody's including Tony Dungy, and I'm a little surprised because and Dan Orlovsky. He said something else in regards to overtime rules. So we'll talk about that in a second. I could see it going both ways, but I don't think I think the refs got it right, and I'll tell you why. So when you see DPI, typically that's when you're braking on your route and you're pushing the guy off of you so that you can escape him on your end and push him the other way on your route, or when it's a contested ball and both guys are turning around for it and both guys are going for the ball.
Yeah.
That's typically when you see that. His head was not turned around. He was not playing the ball at all, and he was all over him.
Right.
It was almost to the point where it was what it could have been OPI, and they were just kind of hand fighting there a little bit. Yes, there was extension.
There was extension. I will admit that too.
There was extension, but I don't think it was enough to warrant deep because he didn't shove him off of him.
Exactly.
He didn't do that. He extended him to create some separation, but he didn't shove him off.
And do you want to talk controversy? How about on the Adam Thielen fumble? We were way offsides. Remember? Brian O'Neill or whoever it was offsides before that play happened, and they didn't call it at all.
And if I had a nickel for every time they didn't get a holding call or whatever, they didn't call anything against them. By the way, going into this game, the Saints with this refereeing crew, whenever they've been assigned to them, the Saints have won 79% of the time, which is wild. I'm glad.
Yeah.
21%. maybe it's down to 78%.
Whatever it is now. Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, I don't think the refereeing was great in this game. You could, if they threw the flag, I would have understood. I agree that they shouldn't have thrown the flag. There was push, but there wasn't. He didn't throw him off. He was just creating.
So do you want to know the highlight for me for this game?
I want to hear it.
It was the post game when Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins are kind of the head of the team in the locker room. And Mike Zimmer looks at Kirk Cousins and he goes, "How's that for your first playoff win?" You know, and then Kirk Cousins take a second and he goes, "I got 3 words for you all. You like that?" You know, and they all just erupted.
It just shut everybody up because Kirk Cousins doesn't have a playoff win.
But Sam, those are factual things.
Not anymore.
Well, okay, yeah, not anymore. But I'm saying,
not anymore.
But I'm saying when
Number 8.
I know, but when people are saying that, it's not like we're pulling crap out of our butts and it's not real.
So that's that. I don't hold that against Kirk because look at the teams he's been on.
Sure,
last year he had John DiFilippo as an offensive coordinator and a team where it was a new offensive package, new coordinator.
Yeah. And we're not going to do this argument.
And then he was on the Redskins for how many years? It's like, come on,
right.
You can't hold that against the guy. It's a team sport.
Yeah. But here's the thing, man. This is the Kirk Cousins that I wanted. This was a confident and he's allowed to check the ball down. That's an option as a quarterback.
Sure.
But it's how he checks the ball down. Like the Packers game, he didn't go through his reads. It was immediate. And granted, there was more pressure too. But this is the Kirk Cousins that I wanted, and I hope we continue to see it. And you know what, Cam Jordan, thank you for calling out Kirk Cousins.
Dude, how about, I saw that video and I was like,
if people don't know what we're referring to, Rich Eisen, which is part of the NFL crew, for the video crew, he was interviewing Cam Jordan, which is 94 defensive end for the Saints,
son of a Vikings,
exactly, yep. And so basically, he was asking him, "What do you think about Dalvin Cook coming back being healthy?" Completely disregarded it and went off about how about the Kirk Cousins that we're not going to get, or he was making some comments about all
Rich
that.
And Rich Eisen's like,
and they were just laughing and having it.
They're just laughing, chumming up, and Rich Eisen's like, "What do you mean about that?"
Right, exactly.
And he's like, "Well, sometimes he's a proficient quarterback," and then Rich Eisen's like, "And other times he's not." And he's like, "You said it, not me."
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's like, all right, shut that guy up.
This in the history of the NFL that never plays out well.
It never
plays. Got Zach Brown.
Guy got fired. I think you got him fired, Pat.
You think that video?
I think got him.
I don't want to be sued. Don't listen to the Zach Brown.
And then you post that video afterwards. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that.
Oh man. Okay, why don't you give me who was your? I know this is a team sport, but give me your highlight player. Who was your guy?
Dude, Dalvin Cook, pounding the rock. He carried it 28. We put the game on Dalvin Cook's back, and he produced every time. He averaged 3.4 yards a carry. I mean,
that's all that it was, really?
It's not a stellar average.
Man,
but
that seems like a lot less than.
They stopped him at the line a lot, but when he broke, he was able to break. He was always, the fact that we were able to move the chains as much as we did and eat the clock like we did, that goes on to Dalvin Cook.
Dude, quickly, when I compare the Packers game to this game, the offensive lines. And I know Cook was in the game,
crazy.
but still, like the difference is dramatic.
It's very
from
dramatic.
Just a simple push, you know.
Yeah.
So I was just absolutely floored by the trenches on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it was, and we won on both sides.
Both sides of the ball.
I want to give the most. I think that's what won us the game is the offensive line and the defensive line.
Right, exactly.
But but they're never gonna get the. I think that's. I think they did phenomenal today.
Right.
The other offensive player I wanted to point out was Adam Thielen.
Dude,
come back. Dude,
Yeah.
With the way he came back, like you said, he started off rough.
Extremely rough.
He didn't let it get in his own head.
Yep.
He shook off the cobwebs, and he had an incredible game.
Right.
Like I said, 7 yards, 100 or 10 receptions, 129 yards.
Right.
Dude, and then I can't say key players of the game without mentioning number 8, Kirk Cousins.
He was exactly
that rainbow he threw to Adam Thielen in
was
overtime. Beautiful.
And I think he took a hit on that one too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he took a hit on that.
Yeah.
But I got one more. We might as well just freaking do toasts for everybody, like we did.
Yeah.
And Harris, man,
dude, like Anthony Harris.
It's not enough stated enough how that was like at the end of the second half to get the ball back in our hands and put up 7 points
and get 7 up. That was what was really important.
That was
they
huge.
got 3 off of their turnover.
Yeah.
We got 7 off of our turnover, and that was huge.
Yeah.
Dude, it was just such a hard-fought game.
Dude.
And nobody believed in us. And I just freaking...
I want to talk a little bit about the Saints, too. Taysom Hill. Dude, this guy was made in a freaking laboratory.
Dude, he really is.
Honestly,
seriously.
He's on special teams. He's on offense.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's on defense, but
he probably could.
Probably could be.
He's a Swiss Army knife. It's ridiculous how many things he's good at.
For anyone who doesn't know a stat line, I just want to quick go through. Taysom Hill in the passing, he was 1 for 1 with that 50-yard bomb, which Rhodes was burned on but almost recovered on.
Yeah.
So and then he had 4 yards for 50 on the ground, and then he had 2 for 25 with a TD in receiving.
Yeah.
He was a bigger threat than Michael Thomas was today. I just want to talk about that again, man. Because we were able to get to Drew Brees, we took away his short game.
Yes.
Believe it or not.
Yes.
We did. And he was uncomfortable.
Yes.
He didn't know he had nowhere to go with the ball.
Exactly.
And Mike Zimmer had the perfect scheme to block out all that shorter. He had Eric Hendricks and Barr all lined up in zones on the short 5-yard routes.
Right. And I mean he did have a pretty good day. He went 26 for 33, 208 yards, touchdown and interception. He was sacked 3 times.
QBR was only 51.
Yeah,
but
he in terms of completions,
sure.
So he didn't have a great game as a passer.
Yeah,
but in terms of his completions, he went 26 for 33. And I think what you mean to say is we took away the passes he wanted to make and made him do the passes that he didn't want to do that got eaten up at the point of the catch or or we're in the backfield and Harrison Smith was able to close on it. You know what I mean?
And just one other thing too, like the one other issue too is they weren't able to get much on the ground at all.
No.
Other than Taysom Hill there, Kamara had 7 for 21 and Murray only had 5 for 21 as well.
Yeah, to get all told as a team, they only had 97 yards rushing, which
actually seems like quite a bit. But
when you split that between any individual,
exactly, and on each drive and all that, and like how they just weren't able to get a consistent, balanced attack.
Right. Exactly. And 50 of those roughly 100 yards came from Taysom Hill. And that's when when Taysom Hill is lined up as the quarterback, I think he runs it most of the time when he's lined up in the quarterback position.
Except for the one time when you don't expect it.
So exactly. So that's why you got to be able to play the passing game, but it just leaves his lane wide open.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was just a really good game. And you could see the chess match between Mike Zimmer and Sean Payton, and they were just working against each other.
I had a friend. I'm gonna call it my buddy Evan McGoffin, who I went to Kansas City with.
Yeah.
I called him before the game. He actually calls me. He tends to call me. I always pick up. I'm like, Dig Sideline Podcast vent call. Vent line. But he made the statement. He's like, I think that in this game, all season we've seen either one the offense or one the defense being better than the other, right?
Yeah.
He said, I think this game we're going to finally see them come as one.
I think we did.
And that's exactly what we got. You said that too. The last 2, I was a little critical. The last 3 weeks here against the Chargers, the Packers, and the Bears, I was, you were saying that they're playoff ready.
Playoff ready.
And I was just kind of more on the conservative side. I'm just like, okay, you have Chargers, all that stuff. But 100% right. And they're clicking at the right time. And it's playoff football. Anything can happen.
You know who looked really good today on defense was Rhodes. And I know he got burned on that one play where he that double move he hitched the other direction. He almost came back on it, but he was really tight on all of his coverages.
He was really. Yeah.
I think like we said, just by the sheer fact that he's on the field, he's a legitimate threat, and they're going to pass away from him. But when they passed towards him, he either broke up the play or he tackled them right away. And I thought he did an admirable job.
No, I agree.
We didn't see 2017 Xavier, but we definitely saw a Xavier that was
his better performance
admirable
this year.
Right.
And there's 2 things too. Like we noticed both Rhodes and Diggs were having outbursts on the sideline.
Yeah.
They need to try and get. I know they're competitive guys, but they need to try and get that. Here's what I want to talk about. Rhodes and Smith are not talking like we're used to.
Dude,
what is going on?
There's some tension there.
The tension there is what we saw against Seattle, where Rhodes, he was burned on a deep bomb, which got them back into the game. And again, but same thing. Harrison Smith, same thing. They on both plays. Rhodes is assuming Harrison Smith is back here, and he's choking up. And I don't know if he's just not communicating or what, but he's expecting safety help.
Right. And I'm not sure what that deal is, but I think more what it is when Xavier gives something up on national TV. I think he gets embarrassed and he lashes out, and he's trying to project on somebody else. Guys, we just don't need that right now. We just need to play and fight as a team, you know?
And no one is going to point the finger at you if you accept responsibility. And we recognize you're not going to be perfect every game.
Exactly.
Cousins doesn't throw perfect passes every time. Cook doesn't run a perfect route every time. You know what I mean? So he takes it very personally.
I think there's a lot of pressure on him, and I think he knows he's regressed from 2017.
Right.
And so I think he's frustrated with himself. I think that's part of it.
And I know Zimmer always tells him that he needs to play to his contract.
Right.
Because they paid him.
Yeah, they did. They certainly did.
I want to make one more side comment. I think the Wilfs, amid all the criticism and the pressure from that Packer game and how poor they played, I thought the Wilfs came out and did the right thing.
Yeah.
Backing Mike Zimmer, backing Rick Spielman at the perfect time.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we support you guys. We support you guys. Win this game.
Yeah, this is, everyone's doubting you. You went, maybe not doubting, but even just having negative thoughts or whatever. I was on that. I was just frustrated.
Yeah.
I was there too,
Exactly.
But there was a perfect time to say something like that.
Exactly. I completely agree. I mean, I think this organization knows how to function. It's funny because you don't see a ton of outside the locker room stuff that sets this team back, and I think that's just a testament to the organization.
Right.
The Wilfs, Zimmer knows how to handle the team, and I think that everybody here knows that. Hey, we're not going to be successful unless we are able to play as a cohesive unit. So, a couple things I wanted to talk about here. Wildcard teams went 3 for 4 this week.
Yes, I want to talk about the rest of the games.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Go ahead.
So, Buffalo Bills and Houston Texans. Buffalo Bills played a dang good game, and they were the one wildcard team that lost.
They were up 20 to.
Yeah, exactly. Until they
21-0, I think.
Until they started to play not to lose towards the middle of the third quarter.
And it always bites you in the butt.
Exactly.
Every time.
Exactly. And so that game went to overtime, and the Texans just got the better of them. But they played really well. I think the Bills are going to be the new AFC East. Yeah. I think they're going to be the new AFC East crown holders.
Yep. But I want to quick highlight Deshaun Watson. Did you see that play where he essentially had two guys coming at him on both sides?
No.
Okay, so one guy hit him first, and he kind of spun forward, and then the second guy kind of hit his other guy off, and Deshaun Watson spun out, dumped it off, and then they ran it for 30, 40 yards.
Yeah, I was driving for about 45 minutes during that game, so I missed that one. But
that's going to be Kansas City against Houston in Kansas City.
That's going to be a really good game.
Yeah. And then the next one, which I'm not going to lie, I was way too invested in this.
Dude, the Tennessee Titans and the New England
Did you watch this one?
I watched it until
some of it.
Yeah, I watched the first half. Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched this whole game like I was a Tennessee Titans fan,
dude. And is it just because you want to see fresh blood in the playoffs?
That, and I think we're all sick of the Patriots.
Dude, people are talking about Brady's going elsewhere.
Well, they could not have ended that season on a worse note.
No. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because it was a pick six at the end of the game, which was kind of deflected. And not to mention, in Foxborough, not to mention, Bill Belichick was saying the Titans punter was the best punter in the league, and he was. He had multiple punts where he pinned them within like 5.
Yeah.
And the last one, he had this perfect rolling one that stopped him at the 1, and then they had to throw it and try and do some lateral stuff, but it was picked off.
The accuracy punters have nowadays is just incredible.
Yeah, and Colquitt's in that too.
Yeah.
He unfortunately broke his streak after you had to say something.
I know, sorry.
With the no touchbacks. But.
I know. So Chris Collinsworth today after the Seattle game, he said, there are some franchises that, quite frankly, need help selling tickets. And Tom Brady might be the answer for them.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he goes to the Chargers or the Colts
And Tom Brady also said today that he would not take a hometown discount.
Ooh,
a little drama.
A little drama. Then the last game was Seattle and the Eagles, and the Eagles played admirably. Well, they got deep in their red zone a couple of times,
but they lost.
They never were able to punch it into the end zone.
But they lost Carson Wentz. That was just the biggest blow in the first quarter there. It's tough to win without your quarterback.
Dude, when Carson Wentz, he got hit in the back of the head with Jadeveon Clowney's helmet, and then his head hit the pavement. Your brain is sloshing around in there.
Right.
You know
and wasn't there a couple instances where he was like clearly confused, saying stuff and like walking the wrong way or whatever he was doing out of the booth?
How about Josh McCown? I saw a stat today. Josh McCown handed the ball off for Emmitt Smith's final touchdown. He threw Larry Fitzgerald's first touchdown. And now he's playing in 2020 in the playoffs.
It's amazing. And you know what? And it's on that note, which shows his heart, which is what you just said. I got an update or whatever because I was driving home, so we could do this. And the update was that Zach Ertz was holding McCown. Sorry. He was crying. He was crying after the game. And that just shows you that guy had heart. And he left everything out there. And he was limping like the whole game.
Yeah.
And he did everything he could. Yeah. And
it was the Eagles have had such a tough year. They lost all of their receivers, all of their running backs.
Exactly.
It's been great. So they played really, really well, and considering the circumstances. They got, to the 3-4 yard line a couple of times.
Right.
They just weren't able to punch it in, and field goals don't win that game.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had a chance to do it there at the end, even with that, but Seattle played well enough. So the other thing that happened this weekend that was fairly interesting was 2 of the games went to overtime.
Yes.
The Minnesota Vikings game and the Buffalo Bills game. And so our people are going to be hearing a lot about the overtime rules this week, because it was significant, especially in terms of the Vikings Saints game, because people are going to say, oh, Drew Brees never had a chance to hold the ball. Our overtime rules are broken, this, that, and the other thing. It's like,
well, I said this. Go ahead.
People like the college thing where you're put 20 yards away from your touchdown, and they give you a 1st and 10 and say go, and people get a chance to respond. It kind of goes back and forth like that. You know what? Your defense is a part of your team too.
Right.
You know what? You can't just totally say our offense is our identity and then just do that. The defense has to be able to hold up their end of the bargain.
Right.
And you know what? The rule changed because the Saints got the better of it 10 years ago.
Right.
So
and I think people said the same thing last year when it was Kansas City against Patriots, and Patrick Mahomes never got to come out there in overtime and
exactly. And it's like, you know what?
And we know that their defense wasn't good.
Is a part of the. It's not like they're getting the ball 20 yards away from a touchdown like in college. They have to march. At best 75 yards down the field.
And if I'm not mistaken, freaking Houston had his hand lined offsides and
yeah. So I don't know. I think that the overtime rules could be changed.
Yeah.
I don't think that it should be where it's
maybe
the
they
same
can put
as
it at the 40 or the 50 yard line.
I don't think it should be the same as it is now, but just the other team gets a chance to play no matter what. I don't agree with that. I think that if you're going to change it, it needs a complete and major overhaul to maybe look like, if you want both teams to be able to hold the ball and both teams to be able to play, then we go to something like college or I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, but we're going to hear a lot about the overtime rules this week, and we were the beneficiaries of it right now this week. I don't think that they're perfect, but I don't think that the answer is simply to just let the offense have their chance.
Yeah, right.
Your defense is part of the team, and
So, got anything else, man?
On to the 49ers.
I just want to end the note on that. That was such a fun game. It was such an emotion. You and I are both like drained. That was like draining.
It was a draining game.
We were on cloud 9.
It's even hard to do this podcast.
I know. I'm freaking just got done yawning.
It was an emotional game. It was just a good football game for football fans. And onto the 49ers.
And at the end that I could just remind, it's like it's playoff football. Anything can happen. Even when things are doom and gloom.
Even when every single freaking person in the world picks the Saints to win, the Vikings can still win.
Right. And I'm going to say it right now. When we play the San Francisco 49ers, we do the preview episode, I will have no prediction again. I'm sticking with it. It's the Kirk Cousins that we're going to get.
Yeah. And you know what? I feel like when we beat the Saints 2 years ago in the divisional round, and it was the Minneapolis Miracle, I feel like everybody spent so much emotional energy on that, the team included. And I was watching that highlight reel all week, and I feel like nobody was really looking forward to the Eagles game, and then we got blown up by the Eagles. And today, I think you said that, hey, on the plane ride home, we're starting to study up on the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, it wasn't me who said it. It was Harrison Smith who said it.
Yeah.
Harrison Smith and Kyle Rudolph said, we're moving on from this. And on the plane ride, we're talking about the game leading up to it, which is perfect because you made a good point. Everyone spent all that entire week leading up to the Eagles game talking about the Minneapolis Miracle.
Right, exactly. And so, it's going to... Dude, the San Francisco game is going to be really, really good. And
Sam, I don't know what to expect.
Dude, and then Seattle and Green Bay are going to be playing as well. And
I did want Seattle to play Green Bay.
They have a long storied.
They've got some history.
They've got some history,
yes,
so that'll be a fun game to watch too. And the Vikings get to play. They play first, so they play on Saturday. So they don't need to worry about who they're playing the week after because they won't know. So we're playing it Saturday at 3:30, and it's going to be a good game. So join us next time on Dig Sideline Podcast. We'll be previewing the San Francisco 49ers divisional round playoff game. And until then, Skol Vikings.
Thanks, everybody.